Traders from around the entire globe, planet, and world. It's Jeremy Alexander Newsome with your Thursday morning day trading room open house here at RLT. I trust you are doing amazing and splendid and happy to see me. I'm happy to see you. I've missed you all. What a wonderful, oh my goodness, today's going to be fun. Today, wow. There's just going to be a lot going on, and I am pumped up. There's my boy, Bill. Bill, thanks for being here. And by the way, thanks for sending your brother to us, man. That's really cool. I'm glad this is turning into a family affair. Mauricio says, looking good, buddy. Good morning. Thanks, man. Looking good, feeling good. Adrian says, my first time. Thanks for having me along. I appreciate you being here. What's up, Adam? Greg says, morning, Jay. Tesla, shake my head. What you shaking your head about, dude? You tired of counting all that money? Is that what's happening? All right. Daria says, hey, Jeremy. Hello. Let me get some upgrades. Chris says, show me the money. Show me the money. Yes, indeed. All right. Let's put this, move this over here. All right, I'm just upgrading some of our panelists. So there's Matt DeLong. If anyone else shows up, let me know. Go ahead and just pop over to and join. Make sure your little icons on all panelists and attendees. Knight says, how much money did you make on Tesla, Jeremy? I made a little bit. Man. Cool. I guess let's just dive in. Recording is on. Let's make magic. Elliot says, I finally got in the morning session. Beautiful. Glad to have you here. Kevin Wiley, what's going on, man? You ready to rock this thing out? Obviously, I mean, it's such a perfect time to have the free week right now because we got so much going on. I mean, Tesla's gapping, Facebook's gapping, Lam Research is gapping. Tonight, Amazon will be moving. And then you have Google doing stuff. And then Netflix had earnings recently. And I mean, AMD had earnings. Then Apple's gapping down. Holy smokes, it's going to be a jam-packed day. So let me go ahead and just let everyone know right now. If you're here live, you're listening to my voice, you're watching us, take a deep breath. It's days like this. You have to go. All right. There is a mega storm of opportunities. If we don't catch them today, someone told me, and I forget who this person was, but they said that the stock market is open tomorrow since today is Thursday. And I was like, really? All right. So I better believe them because we're going to have other opportunities. There will be other trades. If you don't catch one today, it's all right. Again, just take deep breaths, be cool, calm, collected, be patient, and just understand that all of these things are going to take place again. There's always other opportunities. Let's make some money. Let's protect our capital. Let's be wise about what we're doing. And first and foremost, what I'm going to do is I got to give a shout out to a really special trader and buddy of mine who lives in, well, he lives all over the place, really. I think he right now lives in Sweden or Switzerland, but Hung Lau. I've done some coaching with Hung Lau. Very wise gentleman, incredible dude. Just a great contribution to the community of real life trading. And I want to show you guys a chart that he found. I did not make this realization, so that's why I want to give him the credit for this because you got to give credit where credit is due. Why is this taking so long? Give me a second. This is really, really dragging. So I want to show a chart that he posted, and I just don't know why this is going so slow. Come on, let's go. No, not going to click on it? No, of course not. It's like if you need something to work quickly, it doesn't. You know, it's one of those situations. I have no idea why this is not working. Okay, whatever. I'll talk about it later. Anyway, here's what we're talking about. Here's what I want to show you. So Tesla has had a distribution phase for many, many years before, right here, and then it broke out. And when it broke out, you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months of straight up movement. And then it retested, and then it went higher, and then we consolidated. So what does that mean for you? I think we're going to have something similar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months. So I think we actually could have one more month of higher movement on Tesla. I think we can keep going, actually. Have a little bit of a pullback. I think that pullback will get bought, and I think we're going to go a little bit higher. So 700 is most likely, is almost a certainty. I had a lot of people laugh at me when I said that we're going to hit Tesla at 500 this year. So, whatever. So here's what I want to do. Let me kind of come over here and just copy the daily chart on this. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want to find out where we're going to potentially stop on Tesla. I need to do it on a daily chart. Give me a quick second. So again, it was Hung Lao for me who found that comparison, found that similarity. And I was like, wow, that's really, really useful. So what I'm doing now is just kind of going back in time. Let me delete this. And really it's quite interestingly similar. Like right here, that gap up had a high wave candle. That's what we had on the last earnings. So the earnings that we're going to get today most likely are going to end with a high wave candle like this. We'll get a little bit of a pullback, and then we'll eventually go higher. That's kind of what I'm expecting us to do. So I'm going to draw a range from the earnings high wave candle to the high of this. And then I'm going to take that exact box and then see if we're already past that or not. I think we might be. Let's go find out. I think we are. Almost without question, right? It's going to have to be some type of, wow. It's going to have to be some type of massive extension from where we are, but we are far past that. Okay, well, then I don't know. Let's go and measure. Let's go back to a monthly chart. Because again, Tesla's gapping on earnings. That's why I'm focusing a lot of time and attention on Tesla right now. It is moving very, very strongly. How can I measure this range? I don't think this range is very measurable. I think we're going to have to just do it the hard way, old-fashioned way, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so we have a few more months that we can go, and then we're going to have a deep, nice little pullback, and then we'll have another good buying opportunity. Guys, post-market, right now, right at this exact moment in time, Tesla is trading at $629 a share. So here's the thing. I know a lot of people are going to want to short it. I kind of want to short it too. But I don't think I will. I think I'm going to wait. If I do short Tesla, I'm going to give it some time. I learned my lesson right here on this day, which is January 22nd. That was the last time I shorted Tesla. I think we're going to have a very, very similar candle to that. Very similar. So gapping up, we're going to keep a very close eye on it, but I think we're going to have an extremely similar candle to this. And we do eventually most likely fill this gap some. Again, we get another dip, and I think Tesla will go higher into 700. Chris says, Tesla scares me. Everybody, including the Uber driver, is bullish. Agreed. So it's going to kind of come to the point where we're getting to a level where, it's getting interesting. It's getting a little overbought. I agree. But long term, I'm pretty pumped about Tesla going higher. I will watch it today, of course. We're going to have it on the list. I'm just letting you all know, I don't think I'm going to trade Tesla specifically today. Although, for my credit spread fans, if you're a credit spread or options trader, listen very closely to what I say on Tesla and Facebook and Amazon and Google, because I will probably sell some credit spreads at some point, expiring tomorrow. So 2-3 days worth of spreads expiring. All right, Lam Research needs to be looked at too. Lam Research is gapping, and it's gapping to 318. I kind of already structured what I think. Let me go ahead and do this. I kind of already structured what I would like to see Lam Research do. I really would like a pullback. I don't know if we're going to get it, but I'm just going to kind of wait for a little bit of something. But Lam Research should definitely go on the list. Strong gap and go. Really strong gap and go on Lam Research. Now, again, if you're wondering how I found all these gaps, I mean, again, ladies and gentlemen, there's thousands and thousands of scanners that you can use, but one of those, one of those scanners is, you know, we post pretty often. David Potvin posts it in our chat pane. We also post it in other places, but I mean, you can get them on FinViz, you can get them on Bar Chart, you can get them on Pre-Market Watch, you can get them on Google, you can get them on Trade Ideas. There's all kinds of places, all sorts of areas where you can get these setups. And of course, being a part of real life trading helps, you know, being a part of the community. Lam Research on the list, bullish gap and go. Facebook, really interested about what Facebook's going to do. I'm going to be watching this one. This was my exact drawing from yesterday. I think we go a little bit lower, bounce, go a little bit lower, and then bounce higher. I think Facebook is a very good buying opportunity at 197 if we get back down there. So if Facebook gets back down to 197, I think it's a good buying opportunity. There's certainly some people trapped on this gap down, right? There's a lot of bulls. They're going to be losing some money. So again, I'd like to keep an eye on Facebook all day just to see what they do. Again, on the big name companies, ladies and gentlemen, here's a quick tip and a little bit of a hint. There's 186 people here, right, at this exact second in time. Here's a very nice little hint for you. I rarely trade the big name companies on the day of earnings. I usually wait 2 or 3 days after earnings. Right? I rarely trade the big names on the day of earnings. So Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Google. All right? I rarely trade those. I usually wait 2 or 3 days after earnings. I use earnings to plan long-term plays. For sure. I definitely do that. And secondly, the random, strange, no-name companies on earnings, I play all the time. Those are the ones that can move very fast. Those are the ones that can just gap and go bananas. Like Facebook's gapping down 7%. Is it going to go down 15% today? Probably not. But it could, right? It could. It's possible. I'm just letting you all know I rarely trade the big names. That's just me. It's just me. It doesn't mean you don't have to do that. I just find myself not having the highest success ratio on the day of gaps on the big name companies on earnings. If it's gapping just randomly, this was one of the most profitable days of my life was December 18th. December 18th was insanely profitable, and that was a perfect gap on Facebook. So yeah, that was very tradable, very playable, extremely fun, but you know, it wasn't earnings. Now, some cruise lines are being affected by the virus. There's some really interesting stuff going around out there. And, you know, we got, I thought it was Norwegian Cruise Lines. No, so it's RCL, Royal Caribbean. Royal Caribbean not gapping on earnings. This is actually before earnings to 114.51. So this is gapping down. Below the long-term averages, monthly chart, we're far away. So the 100 simple on a weekly chart is 115. That's very interesting. So there's gonna be some people trapped on RCL today. There are some people trapped on RCL. Robert says 6,000 people locked up on a cruise ship by Italy because of one couple. Yep, one couple. RCL from Wuhan, one couple from Wuhan, and the cruise ship in Italy is locked up. So I think that's going to be really playable. That's probably my favorite gap so far. I mean, I like all these gaps, RCL, Lam Research, Tesla, Facebook. it's going to be exciting. I'm not going to have an obscene amount of gaps on the list. Expedia is also gapping down, not on earnings. It's gapping to 106.52. That seems like a really good gap to me. And here's the question, and this seems like a dumb question, but this is the question that I have. My current question is, will these gap and goes actually work? Because they're bearish gap downs. I don't know if anyone else has noticed. But the market's been a little bit bullish recently. Market has been a little bullish. So bearish gaps have not been extremely successful. However, this is a very strong gap down, and I'm kind of interested to see what it does. So I might wait 2 or 3 minutes, but boy, oh boy, Expedia is looking bearish. Okay. Josh wants to look at PayPal. What is PayPal doing? PayPal down only 2%. It's at 113.70. Unless PayPal opens below 106 on earnings, I will not be bearish for Q1 and Q2 at all. Okay, it's good to know. So we are gapping down. Some people will be trapped. I think you could just pass on that gap, man. I don't think that gap is going to do anything interesting. It'll probably chop around all day long. Now, it'll be a really good opportunity to probably sell some puts on it. You could probably sell some puts. You could look at getting into some bullish positions. I think this gap down could get bought at some point on PayPal. I love PayPal longer term. They own Venmo. A lot of people don't know that. And yeah, they could get a little bit bearish, a little topsy-turvy at some point, but I think this is a buying opportunity on PayPal to some degree. It is a nice bearish gap. It's going to depend on how it closes. And I think it could eventually come down to 107. But again, on the mid-range to longer range, I think this is a buying opportunity at some point on PayPal. So I'm not going to be watching that one today. I'll put that on another list. Tractor Supply Company gapping down 8%, 87.25. So it's gapping into a support zone, kind of. It is a dividend blue chip stock gapping down into a support zone of some kind. It's possibly bearish. Most likely we're going to have something like this on Tractor Supply, and then I just don't know what it's going to do. I can put it on the list. It's a pretty good gap. I would definitely like to watch and see if I can get a little bit of a rollover and something like that to happen. Okay, so there's Tractor Supply. I got a request for Hexo. More like Hexno. This stock going lower. One of the worst traders I've ever met in my entire life told me to go bullish on HEXO at 750. Not exaggerating. And I said, no. I don't want to. That seems like a bad idea. So I didn't. Bottom line, Hexo, 2-cent gap. It's very, very speculative if you're going to go long down here. And the only way I would personally go long is if it closes or gapped above 134. Daniel says, are you planning to short RCL today? Sorry if I missed that. You did miss that, and I do plan on shorting it, yes. All right, next on the list is, who else is asking about something? I had a sneeze attack. Thank goodness for that mute button. Jose Cuervo, QRVO. Scott says has a nice gap at all-time highs. Let's go look at QRVO. This is a kind of a random stock that I've traded a few times. 120, great gap. Great gap, good trend. Yes, that is strong. Whew. Semiconductor also with Lam Research. So those two are probably going to move side by side. That's a really nice gap on QRVO. Very pretty. Pre-market, it's going to chop around a little bit. Most likely, you can see we have a nice little triangle pattern forming. So if you're a pretty aggressive trader, it's most likely going to flash a little bit lower, do one of these numbers, and again, maybe end up bouncing. I'm not in love with the pre-market. Again, swing trade could make some opportunities to take something, but that's kind of what I would look for on QRVO. Christopher says, what about AMD? So AMD gapped down yesterday and it's following through a little bit today. Small gap down, not quite taking out the low of yesterday yet. So I would just kind of wait on AMD, let it chop around sideways. And if anything, Christopher, probably look to buy it down at 46.10 because that's where it bounced yesterday. It is gapping down. You're absolutely right. And I know a lot of people love trading AMD. Very frequently, they focus on this one, and it's a really fun stock to focus on. So if you want to play it, feel free to. I'm going to throw it on another list. I'm sure we're going to come back to it later today because people love trading AMD, and it's a very profitable, very fun stock to trade. LK, gapping down 3%. It was down 4% yesterday. Yesterday afternoon, yesterday morning, and a lot of other yesterdays, I mentioned that LK is going to end up hitting the 50 EMA, 35.90. That's going to be a target today. 35.90 on LK. And so that's, 30, 40, 50 cents to go. A little weak, a little bearish, short pullbacks if you're going to play LK. So short pullbacks. Why short pullbacks? Because it's a retest gap. It's a nice one. It is a nice retest gap, but it is a retest gap. 35.90 would be a pretty nice little target today for anyone who's shorting it. And yeah, it's a nice gap. A lot of China stocks are gapping down, and we are getting that rollover that I proposed would very likely is going to happen. And the one I talked about on Monday, today's Thursday, so we're getting it today on the gap down. So there's LK. Peter says, have you looked at AMAT yet? AMAT I have not looked at, Peter. AMAT is gapping up with the percentage of 3%. 61.81 looks good. Doesn't appear to be on earnings. Sure, I can throw that on the list. All right, AMAT got it on the list. Joel says fade on Tesla today. Maybe. We'll see. RK says Roku put sales as a follow-up from Monday's session. So Roku, if you remember, I want to sell puts when it hits the 200 simple on the daily chart. 200 simple is at 117.91, so until it gets there, I will wait on put sales. But Roku does look just a smidge weak today. Just a little bit of weakness on Roku. Elliot King says Square, ticker symbol SQ. And Square is gapping down kind of with the rest of the market. All right, the rest of the market is down today. Square, this is just kind of a natural, healthy, normal pullback on Square. So it's not one I'll trade. We're not taking out the low or the high of any previous days or lows. It's already made its move, and, trend is gorgeous. Daily chart's gorgeous. Everything else is gorgeous. I love it, but as far as a day trade, I'm interested to see what it does with the broader markets. Okay. Thomas says NCLH is the Norwegian cruise line you were looking at. NCLH, yes, got it. Thank you, my friend. Got it down to 53.27. Interesting. Okay. So this one's not quite as bearish as Royal Caribbean. I'm going to put that on the list to watch to see how the two are going to play out side by side. That's what I'm kind of just going to keep an eye on, how Royal and Norwegian play out. All right, my boy, my man, Dustin wants to look at Run, Sunrun. Ooh, what a great gap. That's what I'm talking about. Yep, favorite gap of the day. Number one favorite already. That is beautiful. Now, we'll see if it does anything. It may or may not, but 6% gap and go right above all these resistances. Yes, yes, and yes. Brad says, Dustin, you are a dirty man. Dude, you need to keep that stuff to yourself, Dustin. Love it. Schlumberger, gapping down extremely small, but it is gapping. It's It's not bad. I don't think I'm going to short it for a day trade, Sybil. It's not a bad gap. It probably would continue. It'd just be a continuation gap. Bunch of bearish candles, short a pullback, and let it pull into the support, and then, buy the dip. You have 4 bearish candles in a row on a weekly chart. Energies have just been getting absolutely pummeled and destroyed recently. And yeah. Thomas says Twitter is a bearish gap and go. Twitter gapping down to 32.85. You're 100% correct. Twitter, that's not a bad gap at all. At all. Let me throw Twitter on this list. It's probably my second or third favorite gap. And yes, some people are going to be a little trapped on Twitter. All right, with 4 minutes to go into market open, that's going to be my list that I will focus some time and attention on today, ladies and gentlemen. Falco says, did you look at Coke? I did not. I did look at PayPal. Coke is up 1%, and it's Coke. High wave candle, gapping up above that high wave candle. Very blue chip stock, most likely going to go higher after it calms down and chills out a little bit. So I'm going to write Coke down on another list. So Coke, PayPal, and AMD I have on another list. And there's just so many gaps out there. So many things to look at. So you got to, at some point, peel it down and go, all right, this is what I'm going to check out. My favorite, RUN, Sunrun. This is my favorite one for the day. I'm going to focus most of my attention on this one, and then we'll look at RCL. So let me go ahead and get RCL loaded up on another charting software. So this is Wealth Charts from the Wealth 365 presentation. And then Trend Spider, I'm going to get loaded up with, obviously, Tesla. Okay. And again, is it going to fade? It's going to fade a little bit, yeah. I don't know if we're going to trade it. I'm going to keep an eye on it to trade it. I'm going to give it some time, though, because it's not going to be as easy as you would expect it to be. It's going to be a little fickle, finicky and fickle. Tractor Supply does look nice. Again, RCL, I'm interested to see how it opens. Almost typed in Twitter correctly. Almost. All right, so Twitter. Tractor Supply is already doing what I drew. That's awesome. Expedia, again, I do like that gap on Expedia. I'm going to scoot that up. Lam Research, I do like Lam Research a lot. Jose Cuervo and AMAT, they're all kind of doing the same thing. And then the rest, we're just going to, we'll see what it does. Facebook, I think, is going to be a good opportunity for some swing trades. Again, definitely bearish. Can absolutely go lower. Probably will. And then longer term, I think we're going to get a chance to do some buying opportunities on Facebook. Okay. All right. Broader markets. Did a little bit of futures trading last night. Hashtag murdered it. Really good gap down. Really good follow through. We talked about that all day yesterday in the afternoon swing trading room about what it would do if we kind of continued down, and we are continuing down. So let's have fun. Probably going to get stopped out of some swing trades today. That's just going to be part of it. And then we'll see if I can take advantage of any other trades. So here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.